Five, four, three, two, one, zero. And this game is just about to begin, and here it's me, Katrina, and I'm commentating here today with Zalfor.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah, and this is probably gonna be a really nice matchup because this is Flash versus Jaedong for the GomTV MSL 4, and this game was played on February the 14th, 2008, and this is the round of 8. So I'm really excited for this game. It's on the map Katrina.
Yeah, and Katrina's a very even map for Terran versus Zerg. Although it might not be even for Protoss, it's a very even map for Terran versus Zerg.
Yeah, something to note about Flash is he's only 15, and Jaedong is 18. And Flash, he used to be just this guy who was only good at cheesing, and that's the only way he got anywhere in the MSL and OSL. But recently he's improved so much. His late game is improving. His early game is extremely solid, and he's just playing very well. And for Jaedong, he's just dominating right now. He's the OSL champion. He's on an 8-0 ZVT winning streak, and he's 21-3 since December.
Yeah, and Jaedong somehow got really good really quickly. He used to be like a punching bag, but now he's a really, really good Zerg player.
Yeah, and this map is pretty balanced, as you say. And from the games we've seen from these two players on this map, they're both pretty solid on this map. And so neither of them thumbed this map down because it seems that they're both fairly comfortable playing on this map.
Yeah, and especially Jaedong here, he's gonna go for his fast expansion. I'm assuming Flash is gonna go for a fast expansion as well.
Yeah, and first scouting drone is coming out for Jaedong right now. And really the only thing I'm kind of worried about for Flash is that it's really going to be something based on his nerves, because he definitely does not have as much experience as some other players would have, and so I think he may be pretty nervous about playing big games like these.
Yeah, I mean, Flash, he's still really, really young, but I mean, he's definitely a lot more mature than Sun.
Yeah, and he's
13 and he cried in his last Pro League game.
Yeah, but Flash is really he's just improved a lot, just as Jaedong has. And the first scouting drone has scouted this, and he's not gonna be able to get a peek inside because it's walled off. So good timing there by Flash. But he lifts his barracks, and he better get that down, or that drone does not get in. So good move there by Flash, preventing any scouting.
Yeah, and this is a really, really good play by Flash, and he is going to go for the fast expansion.
Yeah, and especially on far positions like this, it's really going to be pretty safe for him to be doing this.
Yeah, and especially with the map for Katrina, I'm actually expecting Jaedong to take his third expansion at his supernatural very quickly.
Yeah, what do you think about this map for expansions? There's quite a few gases on this map actually, and it could be pretty good for Zerg if he is able to take control of the map. He'll just have a huge advantage, Jaedong will.
Yeah, and what we've seen from Savior and other Zerg players is that a fast Ultralisk is really advantageous on this map. Just due to the mobility factor, it's a very good map for Mutalisks and Lurkers. I mean, and Mutalisks and Ultralisks.
Yeah, and you can see Jaedong places his third hatchery in a pretty nice spot. It's to the right of his main gas. He does this because it's actually faster to mine gas that's to the left of the hatchery than mining gas that is to the right of the hatchery. So even small things like that are huge things that even players like Jaedong will take into account. And right now we see Flash is actually going for 2 factories.
Yeah, and the Flash is definitely going for mech builds here, which is a really, really interesting choice. I don't really know how it's going to work out because I don't know any other games that have played mech on Katrina, but it's definitely an interesting choice.
Yeah, something pretty cool. Oh wow, really fast armor going up right now. So he's definitely intending to get those upgrades up. And I think if he gets enough, oh, there's 2 armories, so if he gets enough upgrades, it'll just really dominate Jaedong if he catches him by surprise. And something that's kind of interesting to note, and it's kind of cool, is that Blizzard actually intended, for the TVZ matchup, they intended that the Terran would go mech all the time, but instead, Terrans go bionic units. So that's just something a little bit interesting to note.
But yeah, but I mean, I don't see Flash having an engineering bay, and Jaedong Spire is going to start coming up. So it's going to be interesting to see how Flash is going to defend against Jaedong's Mulis.
Yeah, you can see Flash is playing pretty risky. He's only got about 1 or 2 Marines in the game right now. I think for the Mutalisks, it may be okay for him because of the far air distance. He should have a couple of Goliaths by the time those Mutalisks get there. And Jaedong's getting a Spire and a Hydro Stand at the same time. And something's being upgraded in that machine shop.
Yeah, and the machine shop's probably upgrading Goliath range right now because there's no reason for him to upgrade siege mode as he doesn't have any armies to move out with yet.
Something I noticed was there was a pretty fast evolution chamber for Jaedong, and hopefully he's getting +1 if he thinks there's something suspicious, because +1 Zerglings and +1 Carapace on Mutas is pretty much one of the counters against a mech build like this.
Yeah, but at the same time, mass Goliaths with 1/1 upgrades are very strong against 0/0 Mutalisks. So, but the problem is he doesn't have enough factories to defend against non-Mutalisks this early on. He only has 2 Goliaths so far, so he's definitely going to need engineering bay and some turrets coming up.
Yeah, he is getting his engineering bay right now, and also his academy's coming up right now. You have to realize that Goliaths do half damage to Mutas because Mutas are considered small units. As well, Goliaths are considered to have 2 attacks, so the half damage is actually placed twice. So in theory they should do very little damage to Mutas, but with fast +1 upgrades it'll be really effective against Mutas.
Yeah, and especially the fact that Goliath has so much range, Mutas, you can't really micro Mutas against Goliath, so usually Goliaths, a large number of Goliaths win against Mutas.
Yeah, I think the main thing that Jaedong has to do is he has to flank a mech army as well as he can. But I think it may be kind of hard on this map because there's quite a few narrow passageways. Even though there's different routes you can take, it seems like it may be a slight difficulty in flanking the enemy.
Yeah, and at this point, you see that Jaedong's getting upgraded. He's got upgraded carapace for Zerglings, and he's going to go max expand, which is definitely the right idea against a mech build like this.
Yeah, Flash is doing a pretty good job scouting with that 1 Vulture over there, and the starport's coming up now as well. And so far we haven't seen much action in this game, but Jaedong's actually going Hydras. Hydras I think are really effective against Goliaths, but they just suck completely against tanks. They just get destroyed by tanks.
Yeah, and we see here that Flash is setting up a very large defense, and I think he's setting up that control tower, so he's going to have a science vessel up soon.
And Jaedong, pretty bad attack there. He picked off 1 supply depot, and his Hydras, he lost 6 or 7 Hydras picking off 1 supply depot. Really bad attack there. As well, even it didn't do any damage, and it also showed Flash what Jaedong would be doing this game, going mass Hydras.
Something interesting to note in that attack is that Flash hid half of his forces in the back, so that Jaedong wouldn't know that he had that many units. And so when Jaedong tried to move in, he moved up to the Goliath so that to block any attack.
Yeah, and at this point Flash knows that there's a lot of wasted units in that attack, and it's going to be pretty safe for him to expand quite soon. He's also getting his science vessels. But Jaedong's not really going lurkers, but science vessels will still be really useful as Jaedong gets his 4th expansion at the top right.
Yeah, and usually at this point, against mech builds, a Zerg player either needs to mass expand and then mass Mutalisks, or rush the hive and get those defilers up, because Hydras and lurkers just don't work well against mech at all.
Yeah, and looks like Flash will be deciding to move out right now, and Hydra's coming in, but they are going to be retreating.